What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? We're here at the Nurse Founder Forum.
Silibadwa, a nurse and a social worker from Kansas City, Missouri. Congratulations to the Nurses Founder Forum for its amazing launch, and I hope you do well in the near future.
I'm a nurse practitioner who works in an urgent care. I started my journey back in the Philippines and then traveled my way from Canada and working there as an RN and transitioned here in California in the United States, and started my journey here in the US as an RN as well, and took a few years to study family nurse practitioner, and now I'm working as a nurse practitioner in an urgent care. And I want to congratulate the Nurse Founder Forum on this amazing launch. Christopher, this is a powerful milestone uniting healthcare and entrepreneurship to create real opportunities for everyone, not just for the nurses. Excited to see the impact that he's gonna be bringing worldwide, and wishing you and all of your team all the success in life and in the business as well. Thank you, guys.
This is Sarah Hintay. I am a triage nurse and nurse advisor from the United Kingdom, England, and Northern Ireland. I would like to congratulate Nurse Founder Forum for this breakthrough. I believe in your vision of bringing in entrepreneurship to the healthcare world. Again, good luck and have an amazing time helping out our professionals out there. Thank you.
Are you experiencing burnout? Are you in healthcare and running your business at the same time? And through this, wearing different hats can take a toll on your mental health. Welcome everybody to the first episode of the Nurse Founder Forum. I'm Christopher, the chairman for the Nurse Founder Forum, and this organization is a business social organization with 3 pillars to support mental health, entrepreneurship, and healthcare. But today we're going to go over and we're going to discuss any type of advocacy and organizations. There are people behind the organization. And with us today, I would like to introduce few of our valued people that will be part of our first annual summit and healthcare nurse founder forum on July 25. I would like to introduce one of our panelists. She has been more than 25 experience in home health, and now she's teaching everybody the healthcare, whether you're a nurse or other type of healthcare professionals, to start your own business. And also, she's an MBA and Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. Let's all welcome Miss Danielle Jenkins.
Thank you.
All right. And then our next, our ambassador chairman, this guy has been all through the start 3 months ago. He's always our event chair and also organizer of different events that we're doing. And right now, he's our ambassador chairman. Let's all give it up to Mr. Cole Hogan.
Thank you.
All right, so let's dig into this. You know, I'm really thankful that people believe, and this is amazing because Miss Danielle, we never really met. This is our first time meeting in person. We just do the video, the virtual meeting, and then less without even another meeting, she said yes to be one of the panelists. So I would like to know more about how did you start on your career right now?
So I've been a nurse for 25 years, started off in oncology nursing, and I felt like I've had an advantage. I've had great mentors in my life. So before I became a nurse, my mother-in-law owned 3 home health agencies, and she took me into her agencies and just taught me a lot. So when I went into nursing, I kind of went into nursing with a different aspect than many other nurses. So sitting around on the oncology ward, I just looked around and Cole, I didn't quite like what I saw. And so I knew that I would not be bedside nursing for my entire career. I just didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like the way it looked, but I love nursing to the bottom of my core. And so working in oncology for all of those, for that time frame and looking around and realizing, I like nursing, but I don't quite like this. I had an opportunity to do some home health nursing. And remember, I had some insight on home health. So I went out and did my first visit as a nurse, and I fell in love with it. It was the absolute best feeling ever. 1, I wasn't stuck inside of a hospital building all day. 2, I got to get some sunshine and see some lights, and it was exciting to work one-on-one with the patient. And I thought to myself, I want to do this.
Yes.
I really want to do this. And all it took was one particular schedule. My supervisor put me down to work on Thanksgiving. I was a brand new nurse. I forgot. Hospitals is 24/7. And I said, you made a mistake on the schedule. She says, what do you mean? You have me working for Thanksgiving. Like Thanksgiving is a big deal at my house. Everybody comes over. I'm known for my sweet potato pie. I can't work for Thanksgiving. She said, you're a nurse now.
Welcome.
You don't just get this day off, right? I said, wait a minute. So that means I'm working Thanksgiving. Is there a possibility I'm going to have to work New Year's too? She said, yeah. And I said, what about Mardi Gras? I'm from New Orleans.
Yeah.
She said, yeah. I said, oh, no. Nothing about this feels good anymore. And so I'm going to have to look at some other pathways. And so that's how I got off into home health, because I decided that that was a better pathway that served my family in the way that I needed it to be served. I needed to be off at certain times. I needed to drop my kid off at school, pick my kid up. I needed to be a part of the games. And so really that's kind of how my pathway went into home health. And then after being in home health and loving it and doing very well at it, I excel. Within a year out of nursing school, I was an administrator and director of nursing.
Yeah, that's good to know. We actually have the same pathway, because especially like an immigrant, I got here 2010 and I was assigned in the operating room. The operating room where I work usually like 5 days a week. And then you really have to take on calls on the weekends and holidays. And for me, at least I can visit my family once a year, because for those people who doesn't know, I have a twin brother. His name is Christian. He became my northern compass. We always have reasons of doing things. It's not just more than us. And I want to see him every year, because he suffered from manic depressive with paranoia, schizophrenia, since he was 14 years old. And one thing that I promised is, once I got the platform to be here, is I would give back to the Philippines in terms of the mental health resources and also the time and work freedom. We still work. It's just like we control where we work and when we work. Right. So that's why I'd like to hear more about Miss Danielle. But now I would like to have the opportunity from Coles to get to know you more.
Yeah. So my story pretty much starts off with me trying to get involved in research for the medical industry. So in academia, I was doing research on cancer cells and how goal-based drugs can help act as like a testing source as a means of killing cancer cells and while maintaining healthy cells alive, keeping them alive. And eventually tried to go more into a professional setting, into research, still trying to maintain that relationship with the medical industry. But then found out that it wasn't research in an industrial level is not the same as an academia level. It's a weird trade-off where, one, you get to have some freedom in deciding what you want to research and having just being able to interact with that community more intimately. The other, you get more money, but you have no decisions on what you get to do. And so me wanting both sides, I realized I couldn't continue doing research in that manner. And so I end up a bit of like a lost space for a few months after that period because I ended up having to separate from that job. And I end up actually meeting you like during that period. Yeah, that was a really
We met in a very random occasion. You'll never know, and then we got connected. But you know what I believe, guys, and I use whatever you've been seeking has been seeking you. I think if you have on the same kind of energy and wavelength, people, you will attract the same people that that have the same motivation, that have the same passion. But again, not everybody will understand the situation, which is make it better because you become more pioneering in the community or the organization. People have that different mentality. In employment, they want security of the job, but they don't have time freedom. So you have to pick which battle to choose.
I think, yeah, like the journey I've had has taught me that you can have it all. Because the thing is I didn't want to bend on that. And it just didn't, I learned that the research, I wanted to be part of the medical industry. I wanted to help people in that sort of setting. But at the same time, part of me didn't feel satisfied with what research was bringing. I've always enjoyed talking with people. I felt like the thing I enjoyed the most in that environment was actually the kind of people I kept meeting. And so when I made that connection towards what made me feel happy, even if it was like a small one in that sort of sense, that immediately changed the course of the path of the kind of people I attracted. And I think that's how you ended up coming in. Because I knew I wanted abundance.
Yes.
Like I wanted the money. Which academia was not going to bring. But I also wanted the freedom too, to decide the directions I take. And I'm not saying that like in the professional setting, it's a bad thing because some people need structure, but I wanted freedom. And so now here I am being able to assist nurses in this capacity. And I'm here able to network with people and connect with communities on my own free time. And being able to, which means I can do as much as I want, whenever I want.
Right. Like when I propose to you, this is we need to have a balance and we need people, because I think for you to go further, you need the community.
Yeah.
And that is why, speaking of community, Ms. Danielle, what are the most common barriers when you teach entrepreneurship to people?
Really, a lot of times it's a lack of belief. A lot of people just don't believe that they can do it. And a lot of times people think they need so much money to get started. And a lot of times it's not. It's really a redirecting of sometimes pre-existing funds.
Yes.
So really belief is the biggest barrier. A lot of people just don't believe that they can do it.
Yeah, so that's belief is the most important, because if you don't believe, there's no way around it. No matter, like what I said, when I've been in tax compliance in healthcare for more than 10 years. We do the books, we see the numbers, and one major problem about people is they're trying to get the money, but they don't have that motivation. Right? That doesn't how it works. You cannot put the cart before the horse. You need to have the right mindset. When I talk about right mindset, when you are a couple, especially Filipino nurses or immigrant healthcare workers, the husband is taking care of the baby and the wife is working, but if they want to be aligned, starting a home health business, med spa, the couple need to be on the same direction, because sometimes they're using each other as an excuse. Rather, the husband said, "Oh, my wife don't like it," or the wife says, "Well, my husband cannot take care of the kids." Right? I think no matter how many things or solution you can offer, if there's a barrier, it's not gonna go forward.
Yeah.
Right. That's why you have to have a bigger why and the easier the how. And then with your experience right now, who are your tell me more about your company.
So Nursing and Style Consulting was founded, basically, I got tired. This is an executive nurse, and I was helping all of these major companies make a lot of money, off the back of nurses. And I just got tired. And I said, why do nurses not own their piece of healthcare? When I purchased my home health agency many, many years ago, there were tons of us nurses starting home health agencies and doing very, very well. And over the years, it kind of waned a little bit as far as what I can see in my sphere. And so after just getting tired and being an executive nurse for a while, I said, I'm gonna help nurses. Because many times I would talk to nurses, master's prepared nurses, doctoral prepared nurses. They understood operations, but they really just didn't get business. And I said, have you ever considered starting your own practice? Whatever that may be, whether it's an infusion clinic, a home health clinic, a non-medical home care, becoming a healthcare consultant, expert nurse, etc. And the common thing would be, I just don't know where to start.
Yes.
Or I don't even know the realm of a possibility. And I'm like, wow, like there's a whole disconnect from clinical to business aspect of nursing. And so I said, okay, I see a niche, I see an opportunity. I'm going to help nurses. I'm going to focus the company on helping nurses move from bedside to CEO. And so as I began doing this, one of the clients that came to me first was someone that used to work for me.
Wow.
Who I helped to get her first nursing management job and watch her grow as a nurse. And to see her just light up, I knew I was on the right path that day.
Yeah, actually, so that's a good point, Ms. Danielle. Sometimes you have to be on your own backyard before the first customer that you have are the people that been seeing you, they trust you, they like, and they know you. And that's what happened. When I got here in the US, it was so funny because I used to work in the OR 2010. And then I was invited by my OR doctor. And then on that room, because I still talk about, I have my financial planning license in the Philippines. So I'm kind of do more like financial literacy as a part of conversation. And one CPA there, who's the CPA of the doctor, he told me, you know what, you have something, you have talent, you have this more than the talent, you have this the character. Because in any type of business, we need to have a good learning and winning attitude. And then from the time on, I said, okay, I don't know about running the business and I don't know about taxation, but you know what, I have a bigger why. I'm going to follow your mentor. I'm going to take the lead. It's a 3-year business partnership. And I said, I'm just going to consider this as an MBA. The thing about MBA, like what you did, you've been studying, but you don't have practical application. And then at the end, you might end up student loans, right? So I said, I don't have enough money for any type of student loan. So I'll roll my sleeves and then do whatever it takes. You know, we should be a goal taker. And then also I learned Spanish. I started to, after 3 years, I bought him out. And then the company, all my clients are my batchmate. There are 55 nurses that came together with me and they were my first clients. And now they already have their own companies. They have med spa, infusion, and they're from different states and cities, New York, California, because that's where we always want to expand and go bigger than what we already have. Yeah, so that's it's very important to know your why, and then also how important, Cole, for you, the people that you surround with.
It's vital. I feel like that's whoever you surround yourself with is what guides you forward. I don't think your success is built upon yourself. It's always built upon you and the community you're with. Even your clients are your community. I mean, you can't say that you got here by yourself. You had help by every single interaction, every single transaction you had was someone supporting you and believing in you. And so I love what you guys say about believing in yourself, because that's your first transaction right there. And so if you're not able to support yourself first, then others are not going to be able to support you. And so, but it all ties in hand. And so the vision is really what brings the community together, though.
Yes.
And that's what attracts the people together. So it's like it ties in together back and forth. The vision brings the community, and then the community helps build the vision, and then you get the vision, then you build more. It just keeps on stacking on top of each other more and more. And so it really is just amazing what you can bring together when you just focus.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now I know. I said, you have to find mentors because they leave tracks.
Yeah.
And I consider Miss Danielle as one of those mentors because we never met in person, but she really believed in me, and that's what we need. Aside from believing in yourself, there should be people believe in you, right? That you could be vulnerable. And starting the organization or your company, Nursing in Style, now you are a national speaker.
Yes.
You travel, you speak hundreds of people. I'm sure when you started, who were you considered as your biggest support aside from your dream and yourself?
My mom and my dad were my absolute biggest supporters. Next to them, my siblings. I think I happen to be a blessed person that comes from a family that really, really deep down supports me. A lot of people don't have that. I can ask anybody in a room, if you were getting ready to start your business, did you have any naysayers? Hands are going to go up. I didn't have that. My entire family is super duper supportive of me, and I know that I'm blessed with that. I told you I had a mentor in my mother-in-law who saw something in me, who decided to just take me along without directly telling me that that's what she was doing. She would just say, come to work with me today. Go to this department, sit with XYZ. Let me know what you pick up at the end of the day. Right? And so all along the way, I've had mentors in the hospital when I was an oncology nurse. I had a nurse, Val, that took me on and had me running the infusion suite. And she would say, okay, you got it. I'll show you a couple of things. You got it. You got it. Another nurse, she was an IV nurse. I'll never forget. She said, you're a new nurse. You have to learn how to do these IVs. Don't let the IV team do it all and you don't learn it. And so she said, whenever I come to the floor, I want you to run with me.
Yes.
And I had all of these steps, and I can name person after person after person. Like Cole said, you don't get anywhere to the next level without somebody. You've got to have a good network of people around you.
Right.
And I just so happen to be blessed to have some really, really good cheerleaders. And matter of fact, if I'm not doing much, my family's looking at me like, what's next?
Oh, wow.
What are you doing now?
Like keep that excitement.
Yes,
How about you, Cole? Do you have any support right now? You just passed your license and the non-life agent now, and then you're ready for top so many commissions along the way. Do you have a support system?
I think, I mean, you're one of them. You're definitely one of my support system. But I feel like everybody I've met, as I just keep exploring this whole, like, every community I can like find, you just find somebody who believes in you. And so if you trust me to interact with you, then I consider that as like a degree of support on on the weight that I carry on my vision for myself. I actually want to ask you, Danielle, a quick question too. So like we're talking about people that support you, but I also believe like even the people that didn't support you are part of the support and that gets you to where. So was there like anybody too that was like
Destruction.
that went the opposite direction too? It was like
Rejection.
man, like like, oh yeah, like a rejection in like the other direction in this other sense. Or it's just like.
So you will always have haters. Like I said, my family was my tightest level of support.
Yeah.
But there are always haters and fakers. The fakers say, yeah, Cole, you got this. And then turn around and go, yeah, he gonna flop. Let's just go follow him and pay attention, right? There will always be that energy there. And so I always use that as my fuel. And now we got social media. Be like, yeah, look at me now. So I just use that as my fuel to keep on. But the first and most important person that I can't let down is me. So I always like to I get up every day. And part of my conversation in the morning, outside of my prayers is, let's be the absolute best you can be for you. And so when I think about some of the traumas and the things that I experienced as a little girl, now I'm like, you got to be the greatest champion for that little girl.
Yeah.
Right? Because there were moments in my life where people didn't see me. There were moments in my life where traumas occurred. And so I always have to be the best cheerleader for me. And so even in my mentoring, in my program, I always, before we start anything, we have to start with gratitude. What are you grateful for? And sometimes people have to sit there and think for a moment, right? Because sometimes we forget the little things. You're breathing right now.
You're breathing,
right?
And then you can drink coffee.
You're here, right?
Yeah, those are the small things that makes a big difference to start your day.
That's right. And so, and then there's a lot of times there's hate throughout the week. And so people will sometimes let that carry. And they'll say things to themselves like, oh, you're so stupid. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me show you how this just played out. Pull up a mirror right now. Now, tell you oh, you're so stupid. It's kind of hard, right? And I said, better yet, let's look at the little girl in you. Remember the little girl? Let's remember yourself at 10,
Oh.
what you look like. Now tell her what you just said. You're so stupid. You're probably not going to say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're probably going to really take a moment and recognize, I wouldn't want to do that, but that's what you're doing, because this body that takes you everywhere, it doesn't want you to talk to it that way. And when you talk to yourself that way, guess what? You feel it. You feel a little pings in your
Yeah.
body. You feel a little tensions in your body. So your body wants you to recognize. So when I wake up in the morning, many times I'm like, thank you. Thank you for my respiratory system. Thank you for my eyes. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing today. Thank you, muscle. Thank you to each and every joint. Thank you. And so a lot of my waking up is that. But going back, haters will always be there. Use haters as your fuel. Just remember, the one person that you can hate is you.
Exactly. Yeah. Because actually, I do listen, and I do have this morning routine. I call it PAME. Whenever I woke up, I have an acronym. P is prayer, A is affirmation, M is meditation, and E is exercise. Yeah, I mean, it's something that you guys have to trick your brain on, because we are overwhelmed. You try to put acronyms, and that's why on the Nurse Founder Forum was born. When Cole told me there are many ambassadors that would like to apply for this organization, I said they need to have 3 C's. The first one, they need to be committed. They have to show up no matter what. Number 2, they need to have a character. Like I said, they need to have a winning attitude. But number 3 is the most important. They need to be coachable. Because there's nothing you can do when somebody is like a filled glass is so full. There's nothing. You know, there are people that have a DIY, do it yourself. They have a KIA, know it all. And then there's also people you offer a opportunity, and they will have analysis paralysis, that they don't really take action. So that's why the Nurse Founder Forum was born. But more than anything else about the healthcare entrepreneurship, all of us going through this mental health. Right. And how are you taking care of your mental health? Because you're always on the go. You always have to plan something. What's the next part? So in terms of mental health, what are your routines?
Mental health is super important for me. And believe it or not, mental health is also buried within my program. Anybody that I'm coaching, your mental health is first. So that's why we do the check-in, right? And I also make sure that people have an opportunity to express it. So I tell people, when you're getting ready to become an entrepreneur, you're going a different path.
Yes.
Right? You're going up a whole different string. And so you're going to have haters. You're going to have a lot going at you. You're going to start to have some self-doubt. So you're going to have these attacks that are coming. So we build up through affirmations. We build up through a morning process. We build up through a routine so that you can prepare for this. So for me, counseling, I've always had some counseling, affirmations, prayer is my first thing in the morning. Everybody knows my phone is on do not disturb, boundaries,
Yes,
right?
boundaries. Correct.
Boundaries are imperative. I do not take calls until a certain time of the day because you're not going to wreck my morning. So first thing in the morning, I'm going to control that through prayer. Right after prayer, it's kind of similar to yours with affirmations, exercise. I get out and do my morning walk. And another thing I tell my clients is you got to check in.
Yes.
You got to check in with yourself. How are you doing? Right? When you start getting those thoughts, like Cole and I was talking a little bit before we started about this, right? Yeah.
The Fiji.
And so you got to ask yourself, you got to say, what am I thinking right now? Because sometimes it's some negative thoughts that's feeding through your head right there, and you gotta arrest it immediately. Like what I like to say is, hey, them thoughts don't pay no rent. Kick them out.
I love that.
Kick them out right away. And so you really have to watch your mind, because sometimes your mind will just start racing. It'll start saying all kinds of stuff. So part of your mental health is check in. What are you thinking right now? How are you feeling right now? How are you doing? Take a deep breath. Because we forget to breathe throughout the average day. And just doing those little resets, reset your mental.
Exactly, because at the same time, we are not alone in the journey, but you need to know how to trust and who the people that you have to talk to, because like the ship, if we don't let the pressure in, we will not sink. So you have to verbalize it. You have to have somebody that you can talk to every now and then. We're not going to be perfect, but we have to choose progress. And we need to stay on track and focus. For Cole, how do you protect your mental health?
I protect it through, honestly, very similar to what you guys do, actually, funny enough, it is through the goal settings, but also becoming aware too of what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and what I'm assuming when it comes to everything in every day-to-day life. I don't kick things out. I find out it's so much easier to just ignore it. But not like in terms of like, I put into a corner. It's more like if I were to talk to you and you say something that's like insulting, disrespectful to me, I'll be like, okay, thank you. And then I move on. So I acknowledge you. I acknowledge that it's there. Like for example, I wake up this morning, I'm tired, I don't want to get up, and maybe like my head hurts, for example, or I don't feel like I'm ready for the day. It's important to acknowledge that. When you're trying to take on big dreams, you can't afford to ignore little problems like that. So you just acknowledge it. It's just a split second. Okay, I'm feeling this, I'm thinking that, and I'm assuming I probably can't do this. Okay, now what do I want?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how the brain is able to ignore it. And it's very peacefully too. It's really nice.
Yeah, so guys, what have you learned today? These are only, if you want to know them, this is only piece of the pie. If you want to know them, the people behind the Nurse Founder Forum, please catch us. We have a June 25 mixer. It's an authority mixer where we're bringing from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're bringing the lawyer that represents nurses since 1997. She will be there on how to protect the license. And it's also a collaboration where you can talk to fellow healthcare, fellow entrepreneurship, fellow mental health advocate. That's why we're bringing all the people that doesn't have the education only, but have the experience. And we're also going to do our the first ever annual Nurse Founder Healthcare Summit on July 25 from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if you want to know more for this information, please follow us on our Facebook and LinkedIn. Again, thank you so much. And I'm really glad that this is all our first time here. So
actually.
now we can breathe. Again, Chris, this is Christopher Wycotax, the founder and chairman for Nurse Founder Forum, where this is a business social organization that focuses on healthcare, mental health, and entrepreneurship. Stay safe, everyone.